Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Story Mode. Hey, speaking of stories, we've got another little side story to do. So, to briefly explain, with every single expansion that's been added to the game, or most of them anyway, there's been a pretty consistent pattern of side content releases. Every expansion comes with a 8-person raid series. Every expansion comes with a larger 24-person raid series. And most of them also come with an additional addition, I've said addition twice, 3 times now, with boss fights. Something called a trial series, which is basically a collection of 3 or 4 different big boss fights with like kind of side story stitching them all together. And we're gonna do one called the Warring Triad today, which should be shorter than a raid series. It's just 3 boss fights and the story between. And it actually looks like it's going to be somewhat relevant to the main story down the road. I'm not really sure how exactly, but for a long while it seemed like this was just an interesting side bit. And things post-Endwalker are starting to look like, I could see this coming back, or at least being relevant in a tangential way down the road. I don't know what's gonna be relevant later. That's kind of why we're doing all this side stuff now, because I don't have confidence that I don't have confidence in what is and isn't going to be relevant to the future main story anymore. So let's just play it safe and have some fun. Fortunately for me, I happen to have left off exactly where the NPC to start this quest line is. Torsifor. Or Torsifers. It's probably Torsifor, huh? Torsifor has a message for you from a mysterious stranger. Honestly, I actually don't know how ERS should be. Let's say Torsifers, even though it's probably wrong. Ah, my Lord Derman. During your absence, a stranger came calling. Upon learning that you were away, he left a message to the effect that he wishes to speak with you and will await you at the Rising Stones. If you have a mind to oblige the stranger, please be careful. I cannot well explain why, but it put me ill at ease to simply be near him. Oh, okay. Interesting that the stranger knows where I live. But okay, to the Rising Stones. Ah, home sweet home and full of so many good faces. Ah, into the solar, huh? Well, I guess Minfilia's not using it. Awful empty in here. My thanks for coming. Unukal Hai is my name, and I serve a friend. I sought you out that I might alert you to the rising threat of the beings known as Icons. You are aware of the threat, you say? But I speak not of the primals, with which you are exceedingly well acquainted. It may interest you to know that the term Icon and the beings to which it refers precede the Garlean Empire by eras. You see, it's the name by which the Allagans called godlike beings, the dark divinity Odin among them, and the Garleans, who seek to emulate the glory of ancient Allag, have simply availed themselves of it. Pray, permit me to continue the tale. Oh. Hey, Goggles. We don't hang out much anymore. Ah, Orionje, how kind of you to join us. As the Warrior of Light's comrade, my participation is but to be expected. After all, the matter doth pertain to the very fate of this star. The Icons of Eld. In the distant past, these mighty beings did offer fierce resistance to the Allagan Empire. However, they eventually fell to the men of Allag, who devised the means by which to capture them. And it did not end with capture, as you well know, for the Allagans also learned how to harness the Icon's power. They refined this knowledge at the Etherochemical Research Facility on Azisla, and within the centrifugal crystal engine, they sealed 3 of the beings, the Warring Triad. 'Twas first and foremost to acquire the infinite power of the Warring Triad that the Archbishop did seek Azisla. But in the wake of his defeat, the bindings which confine the Icons were severely damaged. Doubt not but that they will fail completely ere long. Know that we do not condemn you for striking down the Archbishop. You were simply fulfilling your destiny. And yet, were the Warring Triad to be released into the world, unimaginable destruction would ensue. Take heart, for there is hope still. Through swift action, we may yet prevent their awakening and see them resealed. But in dealing with this new threat, our first step must be to contend with the old. 2 savage gods are returned, I fear, summoned once more by their worshippers, and at a strength far surpassing their previous incarnations. I speak of the primals Ravana and Bismarck. If left unchecked, they will inevitably seek to seize the power of the Warring Triad. This will serve to feed the confluence of chaos and hasten the Icon's awakening. To wit, we must needs vanquish both their kinds. I pray thee, however, to first focus thy gaze upon the primals, ere we turn our attention to those Icons and their fitful slumber. I shall return to the waking sands forthwith and consider such measures as are available to us. Meanwhile, I bid thee attend to the task of eliminating the primals. Young Unukul Hai, gotta practice that a bit, shall assist thee. Rest assured, he is not our enemy. For the time being, at least. If you say so. So, Oh, reading. By the way, Final Fantasy VI fans are probably having a fun time right now, just at seeing this name, as that is the name of a somewhat important Final Fantasy VI thing. There's no real direct connection here. There is definitely a lot of visual overlap, as you will eventually see, but this is still definitely an original story, just kind of borrowing some iconography and naming from Final Fantasy VI. Not that I mind. It's good stuff. The Warring Triad, The Awakening. The Warring Triad is the collective term for 3 immensely powerful icons that were brought into existence during the twilight of the Third Astral Era. Summoned by the native tribes of Mericidia, these entities were set against the encroaching forces of the Allagan Empire. The strength of a primal is determined by the fervent prayers of its faithful, and as the Mericidians' prayers called for saviors with the power to throw back an imperial invasion, the resulting incarnations were perforce imbued with nigh incalculable might. That the Allagans were capable of conquering such godlike beings well illustrates the incredible heights to which their technology had ascended. The implacable empire subdued and imprisoned the Warring Triad, shackled them to machinery that sustained the Icon's forms, whilst at the same time leeching away their infinite energies. For 5 millennia did the Warring Triad languish thus in dreaming servitude, their slumber undisturbed until Archbishop Thordan VII of Ishgard rattled the bars of their cage. The Archbishop had come to Azizlaw seeking to absorb the Three's power and to make of himself a god without rival. It was fortunate, then, that the Warrior of Light and his companions thwarted Thordan before he realized his tyrannical ambitions, but the victory was not without consequence. The violence of the battle cracked the seals that keep the Triad in torpor, and the Icons have begun to stir. Worse, the Garlean Empire and their heavy-handed efforts to plunder the secrets of Azizlaw threaten to drag them into full wakefulness. These terrible entities must be destroyed before they arise in all their cataclysmic splendor. Noted. And good to know. So do I actually need to go fight harder version Bismarck and Ravana before I can do this thing, or, No, I think I can go right ahead. Hopefully. We'll see. Unukul Hai is anxious to act before the Warring Triad awaken. Yeah, I don't think it's required. I don't think it's a requirement to do the other 2, or at least if it ever was, it's not anymore. But, I don't know. If I have to, it should go pretty fast. The time has come, Warrior of Light. We must move against the Warring Triad now, or suffer the consequences. The seal is cracked and the Icons stir. Should they be allowed to awaken and resume their titanic conflict, it'll be alike to the coming of a second calamity. You, Derman, represent our best hope of eliminating this threat. Ain't that always the way? That said, the very act of entering the containment facility itself presents certain unique challenges. So unique, in fact, that I struggle to locate an individual with the requisite talents to surmount them. Were it not for the impressively diverse connections of your fellow scions, I might still be searching. Happily, however, they were able to furnish me with a suitable candidate. Now, along with you and your echo-blessed companions, all the pieces we need to proceed with this deadly game are arrayed upon the board. Victory hinges upon no less than the total destruction of the Warring Triad. But we must also wear the interference of those who covet the Allagan's primal harnessing technology. I speak, of course, of the blindly grasping hand of the Garlean Empire and its fumbling agents. The ignorant meddling of the Empire will serve only to hasten the Icon's awakening, and it's my master's desire that the Triad be dispatched before Imperial forces delve too deeply. Being the nearest to wakefulness, the Icon Sephirot will be your first adversary. No relation. For those of you whose ears perked up. Make your preparations and join me on the flagship in Azisla. We shall speak further there. Inspired by the same name as Sephiroth, but different thing entirely. All right, let's go to the flagship. I guess I'll meet you there. You're not in any rush, but whatever, I'll meet you there. Boy, it's nice being able to fly, huh? Get that bird's eye view. And just fly direct to the top. I had not even noticed, and I feel silly, had not even noticed that the Warring Triad is represented out here already. And yeah, for Final Fantasy VI fans, the statuary does bear a resemblance, no? I love their approach of referencing and integrating classic Final Fantasy stuff while still making it their own. And doing something just different and entirely Final Fantasy XIV with it. It's very good. By the way, I also have done a little fashion change. I figured I don't really have a lot of opportunities left to do Dragoon things because of plans for job changes and whatnot, but I did have some gear that I picked up during that Alexander adventure. So we'll go with this today. And maybe just for the rest of the Warring Triad stuff. Should be fun. Boy, you're quick. And weird. Quick and weird. This is the place, Warrior of Light. Here we will find the containment facility wherein entities of incalculable power lie chained, their fathomless energies siphoned away by elegant devices. As I warned you, Sephirot poses the most immediate threat. His dreaming mind drifts perilously close to consciousness. Thus must his destruction be our first concern. Your fellow Scions will be joining us anon, accompanied by the uniquely talented individual of whom I spoke. From what I gather, the two of you are already well acquainted. Let us continue inside and wait before the doors to the containment facility. Ah, friends, hello. You've not been waiting too long, I trust. We are eager to lend whatever cooperation we may to your mission, Dermot. It is an honor to meet you at last. As I know of only one Mikote Scion, you must be Archon Y'shtola, meaning your diminutive companion is Mistress Kryl of the Students of Baldesion, correct? Diminutive? Perhaps there's been some mistake. I assumed it was for my knowledge and not my stature that you requested my assistance. The mistake is mine. My apologies if I've given offense. Mayhap it would be best if we proceeded directly to the matter of our objectives. Your adversary is the Icon Sephirot of the Warring Triad, otherwise known by the historians of Alleg as the Fiend. He was once the patron deity to a tribe of tree-like beings native to Mericidia, but was subdued by the Allegan Empire after a lengthy war of attrition. After his defeat, he was imprisoned for use as a source of power. Even now, Sephirot is neither truly living nor dead, his mind bound in a dream while his body's energies are harnessed by Allegan technologies. The explanation for his failure to dissipate into ether lies in his restraints. These ingenious devices serve not only to bind him, but to continuously regenerate his corporeal form. Meaning it will be all but impossible to banish him while said restraints are in place, yes? Remove them, however, and we risk allowing an unfathomably powerful and doubtless vengeful icon to run rampant. It seems we have no choice but to divide our forces. One team must locate the controls to Sephirot's shackles and disable them, while the other stands ready to destroy him at the moment of his awakening. A most succinct assessment, Mistress Kryl. While I was aware that the Echo provided you with uncanny insight, I did not expect you to intuit the core of my strategy quite so swiftly. Ha! If only my gift offered such detailed analysis. Which is to say, it doesn't. I merely took it upon myself to learn as much about the Triad's imprisonment as I could before coming here. It will be Dermot and I, after all, who enter the Icon's den. Indeed, given the nature of our adversary, none save those under the aegis of the Echo should be permitted to enter the containment facility. The risk of primal influence is too great. Well, that's settled then. I will disable the restraints, and Dermot and his gifted adventurer friends will welcome Sephirot back into the waking world. Better that than the other way around, I'd say, considering our respective fields of expertise, and of course my diminutive stature. Right, it's time I had a little chat with the doorkeeper over there. Bloop. Activating verification systems, lifting access restriction to Triad control. I had no idea the Valdesian curriculum was so comprehensive. When we locate the controls for Sephirot's restraints, I shall gladly leave their operation to you. When we locate the controls. Mayhap my words were unclear. Only those blessed with the Echo may safely enter the facility. Your concern for my sanity is touching, but unnecessary. Suffice it to say, I am in no danger of falling under the Icon's sway. Warning. Verification systems detect multiple unauthorized vessels entering restricted airspace. Security systems engaging intruders. The Garleans. Come, Oriange, we must keep the Imperials occupied. We too should be on our way. Gods, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't slightly terrified, but I can't very well leave every deadly task to you, Scions. According to the histories, Sephirot was immense in both size and strength, mighty enough to rout even the implacable armies of the Allegans, and that more than once. To cut a long story short, we have to get this right. I shall do my best not to wake the Icon up too much. As my grandfather always used to say of certain little monsters, get them up and get them moving while their brains are still abed. Good advice. Containment Bay S1T7, now accessible. And with it, the first of our battles. Excellent. Well, I've got some crews waiting to join for these fights, so let me go ahead and join up. And once again, I am so sparkly and joined by so many friends. With so many colorful birds. Glorious. It really is something special. Not only like having a big group of friendly, cool people to play a fun game with, because it really has added a lot to the experience just on my own time, but also the amount of effort people are making to contribute to this playthrough. This is easily like the most coordination and like group participation that's ever happened in a playthrough on this channel for anything. And I think that's neat. It's made it pretty special, I think. But alright, I think it's time we got ourselves in there. Let's see, who have we got in our party today? It's just a group of 8, back down from the 24 we've been playing around with sometimes. We got Falca as one of our tanks. Who's our other tank today? That'll be Jordan. Our 2 healers will be Synchronous and Blair. And for damage, we've also got Amaira, Yasasa, Maral, and me. And I think that's going to be a pretty good group. It's been really nice for this particular, after doing all of these raids where I had so many new mechanics to try to memorize before recording each bunch of them, it's nice just having 3 big fights to get ready for. I appreciate that a lot. Let's go. Not that one. This one. Sephirot, the Fiend, was a deity once worshipped by a tree-like race native to Mericidia. Brought into being for the sole purpose of repelling the Allagan invasion, Sephirot inflicted ruinous losses upon the Imperial army before finally being subdued and imprisoned in the central facility of Azizla. And now, millennia later, this immensely powerful entity threatens to awaken, his vengeful dreams disturbed by the careless ambitions of Archbishop Thordan VII. Topple the first pillar of the Warring Triad, or wheresoever his colossal shadow falls, shall be visited by unthinkable catastrophe. These fights have some fun spectacle in them. I think you're going to enjoy. Let's go ahead and do this first one.
Disabling Sephirot's restraints now. Good luck.
Thank you. So buff. That's too many muscles, frankly. All right, well, we are ready. I do love that they give you mechanics for, like, literally checking to make sure everyone is ready, and then giving a countdown and all that stuff. It's very nice for coordination. All right. Pestilent Northerners, you shall regret the decision to loose my fetters. Familiar tunes as well. Enjoy that. Oh, we're gonna be wanting to stack up for that. There are definitely some mechanics in this fight that can kill you right away. They're nice and clearly telegraphed, which is nice. You just gotta pay attention is all. We want to spread these out, similar to all those other little AoE things. If only one of them hits you, it's not too bad. Quite healable. Oh, don't be standing in front of that either, because it'll hurt. But yeah, with any one of those AoE things, not so bad if you get hit by one, but the more of them you get hit by, the more it hurts. So if you're all piled up together for that, that's gonna hurt real bad. The equilibrium of life. I shall tip my scales, or tip thy scales and partake of thy bounteous energy. Really enjoying the plant theme on this one. All right, let's take out all these ads quick like. Get them. The more of the ads we take out, the less the incoming attack hurts. Is my understanding. Patience and penance. For millennia I've yearned to enact this vengeance. I am the end and the beginning. By my touch shall your wretched lives be blessed. So cool looking. You've dimmed my boundless light. What power of death do you mortals wield? Look out for the hands. Whoop. So the edges of the platform are gone. We can fall off now. And now he has a bunch of moves that can knock you around with these punches, so you want to be positioned carefully so you'll get knocked somewhere safe. Also, just basically enjoy this 9 Inch Nails song that they threw in, just for fun. Whoop. This special marker is going to target me with a huge, like, wide column blast. So I want to be standing not near anywhere else. Oop. He's about to blow on us and try to blow us off the stage. Get close. For that reason. I love how much fun they have with music in optional patch fights and trials and raids and stuff. Oop. Oop. Big column blasting again. Way over here, way over here. Oop. We all need to get inside this thing, or we shall die. Because it blows us up in the air before he sweeps us off the edge. We're wearing him down. Come on, team. Oop. That looks like a big blast. I'm gonna move. Oop. I worried that I might have stood in a bad place and got other people a little bit hurt. Possibly. Oop. We also need to be standing on these. We really only need one person each on either of them, but everyone gets hurt or maybe killed real bad if someone's not standing there. Look out. He's mixing and matching mechanics now. They do a pretty good job of that now, where like bosses start using mechanics one by one for the first half of the fight. Second half of the fight, they start throwing lots of them at you at once. So you gotta, now that you've learned how to deal. Finish him. Oop, here comes the column. And we win! The spectacle is increasing considerably. And this is pretty much the level of spectacle that big boss fights are gonna stay at now. They're all gonna be this big and cool now. It's great. Anyway, thank you all. You did wonderfully. No surprise there, but as always, you did. And thanks for cleaning up after us, Jordan. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for joining. This was great fun already. And we've got 2 more fights to do. It's gonna be great. All right, let's get back out there. Check in with our pals. Well, that went pretty smoothly, all things considered. You did it! I've seen you in action before, but never against anything that big. My legs kept telling me to run, but I just couldn't tear myself away. I don't think I blinked once during the whole battle. A hero tried and true. If only I'd possessed such strength. Y'shtola? This is Kryl. Icon eliminated. Oh, if only you could have seen it. Derman gave Sephirot the mother of all rude awakenings. Oh, and your distraction was perfect. We encountered not a single Imperial soldier. Yes, understood. Let's swap tails with the Rising Stones, then. On our path to the control chamber, we discovered a number of dormant thralls. It would seem the machines that preserve their forms also hold them in a state of torpor. We need not fear them summoning their deity anew. In short, our work here is done. For the present, at least. Let's go home, shall we? Kryl, I'm glad you and I are getting to hang out more. Your senses are sharp, young one. I am Regula Van Hydrus, legatus of the 6th Legion, and it would seem that that damnable woman and her accomplice have led me a merry dance through the thickest of this infernal island's defenses. To think that I pursued them. I shall withdraw for now, my lesson learnt. I doubt it. You Garleans never learn. You covet the means to enslave primals, but in your headlong dash to control that which you do not understand, you show less wisdom than the very beast tribes that summoned them. I have no interest in crossing blades with children. Live, grow strong, and mayhap one day you'll warrant my attention. Sorry, we thought you were behind us. I looked back and you weren't there. Did something happen? Not of consequence. I mistook a shadow for a man. Kryl is pressing X to doubt right now. Just what are you hiding beneath that mask of yours? A longing for hope? An appetite for power? A lingering sense of regret? And do I detect a desire to test your strength against a certain hero? Is that what your gifts tell you? No, those were just wild guesses. But I wonder if some few of my words didn't strike close to the mark. Or mayhap more than a few. Be at ease, Unukalhai. I've no supernatural ability to read minds. The echo simply allows me to comprehend, regardless of language, that which a fellow being would have me know. You need not mask your heart as you do your countenance. That was a performance, then? A ruse to uncover my true nature? I see I shall have to keep my wits about me. So serious. Ah, that's one fight down. To the Rising Stones, then. Kids, I'm home. Hello. So, Warrior of Light, how did it feel to strike down so great a foe? You must tell me more of the experience once our meeting with your colleagues is concluded. Okay. Through thine all-surpassing skill at arms, do we now take our first step in ridding this star of the Warring Triad's baleful presence, and in such wise do we lessen the burden bequeathed unto us by the vainglory of Alec. Know, however, that the two icons which remain are thought equal in might to Sephirot, and may yet exceed him. Ere thou proceed, I would counsel thee to marshal thy strength, and give careful thought to thy preparation. Assuming the Garleans afford us the luxury of time, even now they grasp for the means to dominate primals, blind to the technology's potential for calamity. My master taught me that the entity known as Sephirot was this world's first sacred tree, elevated to godhood by the belief of its worshippers. There's no power more fearsome than that born of unconditional faith and unbending ideal. 'Tis plain your master found in you a willing student. Tell me, was it he who taught you of Allegan technology's potential for calamity, or are those your own words? 'Twas but a figure of speech, nothing more. When last we met, I thought I caught a glimpse of the boy behind the mask, but it would seem your defenses are firmly back in place. Must you persist with this infuriating veil of secrecy? I, for one, would very much like to know who this master of yours is, amongst other things. As long as our purposes align, what matter my affiliation? It matters a great deal. I do not ask out of idle curiosity. If we're to fight as comrades, we need to be able to trust each other. On which note, I should apologize for my earlier trickery. It was merely an attempt to get to the heart of an enigmatic companion. Truth be told, I was rather glad you reacted as you did. No person of your age has any business being calm and aloof all the time, much as you might wish to be. Anyway, we had best be off. Do send word if there are any further developments. A companion now, am I? Of course you are. You're in the middle of our base. You live here now. Accept it. All right, there's more to do, but we will be doing it next time. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time for the continuation of the Warring Triad series. Take care, all of you, and goodbye.